telling me, oh boy, don't hang around. It's been a long. If anybody know what I'm talking about, let me see you wave your hand. I know a change will come. Oh, yes it will. But I gotta take my time to say this one. Then I go to my brother. Yes, sir. And I tell him, I said, brother, help me believe. But he winds up knocking me. He knocks me back down on my. But the time never falls. Somebody say yeah. I can rest it all. Change don't come. Oh, yes it will. And look at here. Then I go to my brother. Somebody take your hand back and forth like this. Everybody. You sitting in the first balcony too. Help me, please. All over the auditorium tonight. All over. But he winds up knocking me. Back down on my.
I like this little mic here. I like it. Good morning, my friends. This is your host. This is your host, Brother Jay. Happy to be here today. And welcome to the program. I hope you had a great weekend. I did. Enjoyed myself. And we were blessed with the message Sunday on heaven. Heaven, you know, it's good to talk about heaven. That's what we talked about. Heaven. And there's another place, but we don't want to go to that place. So we're preparing for heaven. Good to be with you today. And we have an interview lined up. And we're ready to go. And we want you to know that we are appreciative of your tuning in today. So God is good to all of us. A lot of stuff still going on in the political arena. We know this. So get yourself prepared to go out and vote for the fellow of your choice. The 93-year-old woman in Pennsylvania never had a birth certificate, and some felt like she wouldn't be able to qualify because of the new voter ID laws. I'm here to report in living color that she is now qualified to vote. And I just want to say, good dear friends, if a woman 93 years old can get out and get qualified to vote, then the 18, 19, 20, 21, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, you know, if this 93-year-old woman can qualify to vote, then I think we got some work to do. And so let us prepare for that. Good morning. This is Brother Jay on 1030 Talk this morning. How are you? Hello?
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 Yes, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. And introduce yourself to us and tell us what we'll be talking about today.
Okay, my name is Charity, like Faith, Hope, and Charity.
Yes, ma'am.
And I am the founder and executive director of the Ella Foundation.
The Ella Foundation. Of course, you're going to tell us what that's all about.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what Ella's all about.
Okay.
In a nutshell, our mission statement essentially states that the Ella Foundation is a nonprofit whose mission is to prevent violence and to advocate for human rights through criminal justice reform, victim advocacy, and education.
Okay, now basically that has to do with people who are convicted wrongfully and how people can support those people, or tell me what it's all about. I might not be getting it correct.
Wrongful convictions are part of it, but I created the Ella Foundation because a little over 5 years ago, my son, who was 13 years old at the time, murdered his little sister, who was 4.
Right.
And so I very quickly...
By murdered, you mean he shot her?
No, he stabbed her to death.
He stabbed her, okay.
Yes.
Wow. That must have been tough.
Go ahead.
I said that must have been tough.
It's been hell. But I was quickly, thrust into the position of being both the victim of a violent crime and the mother of a murderer, of somebody who perpetrated a violent crime and who is now, going to grow up in the criminal justice system.
Now, was he, was this like a play thing, or he just became angry and actually executed his sister?
Now, my son, it wasn't an accident. It was, somewhat planned, somewhat impulsive. My son's almost 19 now, and he's a sick boy.
Oh my goodness.
But, so my son is one of the ones that, he is guilty. He hasn't shown any remorse for his crime. But I, quickly came to the belief that, because this happened in Texas, and he was, like I said, 13. And so I knew that he was going to be put into the Texas juvenile system.
Right.
And the Texas juvenile system had just been put under federal indictment by the Fed for sexual abuse of kids in their care. And I wasn't going to let anything, like that happen to my child. So I started advocating a whole lot in Texas for juvenile justice reform, mostly for my kid. And then, through visiting the prisons and becoming an advocate and beating on people's doors and trying to organize, I realized there was a lot of families out there that need help.
Right.
And so, in the ensuing 5.5 years, I've created this nonprofit foundation. And, we advocate for those who are in the system, guilty or innocent, I don't care.
Right.
We advocate for people that need help. And we do the same thing for victims. And we try, through the work that we do, to bring about some reconciliation for victims and offenders, and to help them both, move away from anger, focus more on, trying to get something good out of tragedy. And I do a lot of, teaching them about what I've learned about how to be an advocate, how to organize, how to, get out on the street, how to write letters to the administration, how to use administration policy against them. I mean, just how to advocate for your loved one. And that's, our latest project is we partnered with the Campaign to End the Death Penalty, and where the Ella Foundation, myself, and the Campaign to End the Death Penalty are going to try to set up a chapter in Mississippi for the campaign, and I'll be there, to start meeting families, contacting them, hearing their stories, finding out what they need, and then, training them in how to become advocates.
Okay, now what's the date for this training session?
Well, I'm actually going to move to Mississippi for...
Oh, you love us that much?
I guess so. Somebody's got to. Nobody's paying attention to y'all down there in Mississippi, and there's a lot going on,
There's a lot happening, for real.
My son's time, happened in Texas, and I did a lot of advocacy work in Texas the last 5 years. But, life puts signs in your path, and all my signs have been pointing to Mississippi lately. I've gotten to know quite a few of the families of the executed and the condemned currently serving time, and I feel like that's what I'm needed. So I will arrive in Mississippi on October the 1st. And what I'm trying to do right now, and maybe some of your listeners can help with this.
Where in Mississippi you think you'll move?
Well, I'm going to be set up near Jackson.
Okay.
But what I'm looking for is and I've talked to a couple of other, religious leaders downtown, but we're looking for a facility. So to hold a meeting that will let us host, that will host a meeting for us. So I can, tell these families where they can go and when to come.
Right. All right.
But right now we're still looking for a spot that will allow us to use some space. Since I'm not in Mississippi yet, it's kind of hard for me. I have to, get to know the lay of the land. But the other thing, that I'm encouraging people to do in the meantime is to get in touch with me, or to get in touch with the Campaign to End the Death Penalty. And, if you have a loved one in prison in Mississippi, if you have a loved one on death row, if, you yourself have been in there, if you just don't like what's happening and you want to get more involved, because we're trying to build a coalition of, religious leaders, media, certain politicians, businesses, just anybody that is, because, we do a lot of anti-death penalty work, but essentially what I focus on is the human rights aspect of it. All of these people are human beings.
Right.
And I don't care what they've done. I know how horrible it is. I'm the victim of one.
So you advocate for the victims as well as the other side too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, take homicide for example. Rarely is murder a random, event. Rarely is some stranger that you have no connection to going to walk up to you and kill you. Most murders, are family related, or even if they're drug or gang related, most often there's some connection,
Right.
So a lot of times, like in my particular situation, the victims are family with the offenders, especially in sex abuse cases, child abuse cases. So you have a family, an entire family that has both the victim, the traditional victim, and the quote offender. But really what I try to encourage people to see is that in these moments where these horrible things happen, everybody is a victim.
Right.
I mean,
but I was just wondering, how does that work if someone is murdered, and then you go to that person's side, and then as well as you go to the side of the person who lost a loved one also? Is that what you're saying, or am I misunderstanding you?
Well, I mean, when I'm talking about, advocating for victims, the work that I do with victims is, a lot of this, emotional work and how to survive grief, how to keep your voice and not become powerless. And not every single victim in the world is out there screaming for blood. There's a lot of victims in the world who, they just want some peace, or they just want a chance to say their piece, or they just want, a lot of states now have victim offender mediation for crimes, not so much homicide, although it does happen, but, for petty theft or robbery, things like that. Because the whole, the way that I see to improve the criminal justice system is to improve the overall morality and level of compassion in society as a whole. As long as we continue to think punitively, systems are just going to keep growing, people are just going to keep getting angrier, more violence is going to keep happening. At some point, somebody has to stand up and say, okay, listen, I'm angry. You hurt me more than I could ever explain.
Right.
But, I'm going to show my humanity here and care for you anyway, because, I tell people all the time, the night that my son killed his sister, everybody recognizes that it was probably the worst night of my life, and everybody recognizes that it was the worst night of my daughter's life.
Right.
But for some reason, people don't want to acknowledge the fact that it was the worst night of my son's life, too. He needs help. People don't do these things if they don't need help. There's something going on. And to punish somebody who needs help, and then to expect that person to not be angry or not want to hurt more people when they get out of prison is just ridiculous.
So you come in and you show people how to best get in touch with their loved ones who are in prison. And
well, no, they're not. I mean, if they need, if they don't know how to get in touch with them, I'll help them find them. Yeah, but what I do is, so like for instance, when I finally get to Mississippi and I have a meeting space set up and I've got a group of people that I know are ready and waiting for something, I set up a meeting. Say one meeting we would do a session like how to your rights with the media, how to talk to the media, how to utilize the media to advance your cause. Basically just teaching them the tools that I've learned in creating a nonprofit foundation and traveling the world, speaking and advocating and working with activists with amazing people and learning their tools, passing those on to empower them. That's the biggest, one of the worst things about the criminal justice system is whether you've committed a crime or not, because you're part of the system, whether you're the, offender, whether you're it happens to victims, whether you're the family,
right,
you just become degraded and dehumanized, and you're treated like you're less than. And so families and, friends, loved ones,
right,
need to remember that they're powerful.
So, you would set up, you think, around Jackson?
I'm hoping, when I first get there, I'm hoping to either set up either around or around close to Parchment itself, and have meetings after visitation is over. But like I said, we're still working on a physical location. Now, as time, hopefully if, everything takes off and we start to get support and people start coming, because there's families all over the state of Mississippi and they can't all come to Jackson.
Right.
So eventually we'll have to figure out a way to start, meetings in different counties or cities, or you can set up video meetings or, utilize technology to your benefit. Conference call meetings. I mean, eventually once I get there, I'll map out a way to pull in people from all over.
Okay.
Because many people want to be heard, need to be heard.
Right. Let me take your telephone number down. And by the way, did you send me the email? Because I've been searching for it and maybe I overlooked it.
I think I did.
Okay.
But I can give you all the information.
Okay, that's
I'll give you the information for both myself and the Yellow Foundation and the campaign to end the death penalty.
Okay, that sounds great.
So mine is Charity Lee.
Charity Lee, gotcha.
Yep. And the email is just charity at theellafoundation.com.
Foundation, that's the word spelled out.
Correct.
Okay.
And the phone number is area code 210
Right.
601 9551.
Okay.
And over at Campaign to End the Death Penalty, they can contact a gentleman named Mark Clement.
Mark Clemens.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
Telephone was turned.
Hold on, I'm looking with my computer isn't going as fast as it should be. Okay. Mark's telephone number is 847
847
276
276
1382.
1382.
And the Campaign to End the Death Penalty website is www.nodeathpenalty.org.
Yeah, we've had him on a bunch of times.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. And then the Yellow Foundation website is just www.theyellowfoundation.com.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So, kind of briefly, tell us again the reason that you exist and the reason you're coming to Mississippi. We'll take it from there.
Okay, so we're coming to Mississippi to the Yellow Foundation and the Campaign to End the Death Penalty to accomplish two goals: to open a chapter of the Campaign to End the Death Penalty. So, people in Mississippi who are interested in criminal justice reform, anti-death penalty movement, things along that line, will have, an organized group with national backing in Mississippi.
Okay.
And the second goal is, the Yellow Foundation, along with starting the chapter, is going to be providing, training to whoever would like training in how to be an advocate for their loved ones, We'll also be putting together campaigns of our own,
Right.
We have actions in mind for Mississippi, but I hesitate to say exactly what we're going to do other than open a chapter and help train people, because really until I hear from more people from Mississippi, y'all know better than I do what you need and what needs to be done. I know how to train people, but y'all know what you need. And so I need to hear what is needed. I've identified some areas with some of the pathologists and their cases there in Mississippi, and there's some innocent claims, and obviously you've got this hunger strike going on because of the conditions at Parchman, and the guy, trying to get contact visits. The gentleman on death row trying to get contact visits for good behavior, and, there's a lot going on, but I want the people there to set the tone that's needed.
Okay.
And then I'll provide whatever training is needed.
That sounds great, and we want to wish you well here at WTWG. And we'll keep in touch, and we'll have you back on at sometime in the future, and we'll talk more about it. Anything else you want to tell us?
That's about it. Just get in touch with us, and, tell us what you need, and I'll be there on October the 1st.
Beautiful. Now, I have the numbers here, and if anyone should need those numbers, they can call me, and I'll make sure that they get them. And I appreciate your call today, and mentioning the Ella Foundation and some of its goals, and you're trying to get that started here in Mississippi. One curious question would be, why Mississippi?
Why Mississippi?
Yes,
okay. Well, back in May, I left Texas and set out on a 1-year, one-woman human rights tour, essentially. I have my little travel trailer, my car, and all my work with me.
Okay.
And I have been going around the country, different states, speaking and meeting families and interviewing them, recording their stories, essentially just getting the word out there about the Ella Foundation, and because I travel so much for work, I was like, I might as well just stay on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I did. And one of the families that I met when I first left Texas was the family of Matt Puckett, who was executed by the state of Mississippi on March 20th of this year. And I met his mother on Facebook, and we got to chatting, privately. And as I was coming that way, I stopped and I stayed with her, with her family for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just an amazing family, and they told me that story, and they started telling me about Parchman, and, every single one of them, essentially said, there's, more needs to happen in Mississippi. Nobody's paying attention. How do we make people pay attention? And I was like, well, let me, think about that. And I left, and I went to Washington, D.C. for some work, and a lot of my colleagues in D.C. kept bringing up Mississippi, how nobody was paying attention to Mississippi.
So you wanted us.
So I just said, well, and then I saw something else on Facebook where that, Mark at the campaign was wanting to open a chapter in Mississippi, and it didn't look like he had really gotten a whole lot of traction out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just emailed him and was like, you know what, I'll just move there, because you gotta have somebody there if anything's gonna happen. So it just, I really love the Puckett family, and I've grown to love the other families that I've talked to, and I hate what's going on, and I just don't think that there's, I know that there's, small pockets of, quote, resistance in Mississippi, but the national, media isn't paying a whole lot of attention, and there's just more needs to be done. So I'm gonna do it.
Okay, well listen, God bless you, and we appreciate your call today, and we're gonna look forward to speaking with you in the future. Hold on a second. Mr. Ness, you got a question for our friend?
That's what I should have done.
Okay.
Thank you, love.
All right, thank you. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll get back in touch with you, or you get in touch with us, and we want to know the progress of the Young Foundation and find out what's going on.
All right, I'll get in touch when I move down.
Thanks, Charity.
All right, thank you. Have a great day.
All right, thanks a lot. All right, good people, that's Charity from the Ella Foundation, and we're looking forward to having her here in Mississippi, and she has work to do.
Yeah, hold a second.
Okay. So we let me take a break here, and we'll be right back.
Now the race is on and here comes pride at the backstretch. Heartaches are going to the inside. My tears are holding back. You're trying not to fall. My heart's out of the running. True love's best for mother's sake. The race is on and it looks like heartaches. And the winter is on.
Hood's Upholstery Trim and Cover Shop is your headquarters for all of your covering needs. Hood's can repair the cover on your auto, boats, recreation vehicles, and resident and commercial furniture. Hood's Upholstery Trim and Cover Shop specializes in custom work, vertical tops, landau tops, and auto interior. Buy us for style and leave with a smile. Call Hood's Upholstery Trim and Cover Shop 662-549-4808. 662-549-4808. Right now.
True Vine Christian Life Center presents our Youth Explosion 2012, August the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, 7 p.m. nightly. On Wednesday night, we have Minister Antonio Lockett from Harrison Grove, Full Gospel in Sugar Lock, Mississippi. Thursday night, we have Pastor Lawrence Jackson from Bessemer, Alabama, Love City. And on Friday night, Pastor Randy Brewer, Greater Mount Zion Church, Brooksville, Mississippi. You don't want to miss this Youth Explosion 2012 at the True Vine Christian Life Center Church in Caledonia, Mississippi. All roads lead to True Vine Christian Life Center Church. That's August the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 7 p.m. nightly. You come out and be blessed in Jesus' name.
This is Councilman Kabir Kareem asking you to support T&W Communications Silver Anniversary, September 21st at the Trotter Convention Center. T&W Communication, a true trailblazer serving the Golden Triangle for 25 years.
I saw the other guy coming. Rick was his fault, but I'm hurt. I can't work. There's no money coming in. The insurance company is dragging its feet. I can't take care of my family. I can't even play with my kids. I'm gonna have to find someone who can help me out.
The law firm of Turner Associates will be tough and aggressive in representing your interests with insurance companies. Call 800-844-6611.
Turner Associates, put our experience to work for you.
All right, good people, back with you as we're headed to the finish line today. It's 11/17/22. Got my buddy on the line here, Mr. N. What's up? How was the weekend?
Have a great one, sir.
Well, now, when you say a great one, now, what about it was so great?
Well, check in a movie somebody has went out to dinner, went to a movie somebody hasn't done in years.
You don't go to the movies, Mr. Nelson?
Go to the movies. And then all those people living there with the sea sparkle.
Sparkle? Pretty good.
Yeah.
Is it a good movie?
To me it was. It was a change for the old man.
So, Whitney doing great in that movie?
Yeah, well, she was the backup person seeing it, but she was the mother.
She was always, to me, she always was a great, pretty good actor.
Hey, well, it is pretty good, but I was looking at the others. I've seen Whitney too many times.
Mm-hmm. Hold on a second. You on 10:30 talk today with Brother Jay?
Hey, Brother Jay, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Look, is that a Caucasian and stuff, and I'm just asking something else? Is she white or black?
I believe she's a white lady.
Okay,